Okay, so I want to make sure that after that last step, after you wrap that Flashaboo, you just take one more drop of your nail polish and you put it right there on the thread. It's not going to take a lot of nail polish. The nail polish is just a hardener for the thread, so the thread won't come unraveled. And it's really not as important as putting the nail polish in on at the very end. So this is just kind of an added step. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your bucktail, and I use the white. I think most people use the white. I don't think that there's a lot of people that use both the white and the brown. So, but you can use whatever you want. It's your hook, and whatever you think that will work at your lake is fine. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna try to find a section that you think is gonna work good for you. Just less is more. It's less than you think. So, and then you're just gonna take your scissors and you're gonna cut it right at the base. Just like that. So you take your bucktail, pull it off to the side, and this is kind of an important step for you, is that you want to take it and peel off all of these extra strands that are in here. So just kind of work it to where you get all these loose strands out of the bucktail to where it's really uniform. Now this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bucktail and you're just going to lay it right over that hook there. And then just try to snag it to where it's laid over evenly. And kind of pull it over the whole hook there. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap once. And here's the tricky part about this, is that you don't want, at least I don't want that red going all the way down the hook shank. I don't want a ton of red on here, so I try to keep it up, as far up the hook shank as possible. So you want to make sure you wrap this fairly tight too. So wrap it around once really loose, and wrap it again around really loose, and you can pull tight. You can see how it's starting to make its way down the hook shank, so I'll start over again. So wrap it once, twice, but I want it to be all the way around the hook shank, so I'm gonna make sure that it's following all the way around the hook shank because I want it to be even looking. So just wrap once, twice, pull tight, and then just start wrapping. Okay, and I just wrap like 3 or 4 times before I pull through and I make an overhand, and then I make my second overhand. Because what you're going to do here is you're going to set it down in there. You're going to put your 1 drop of nail polish on there. And what you're going to do is you're going to trim that bucktail down. This is how it's going to make it look really uniform and clean. So we'll take this and we'll cut it. This is the part where having really sharp scissors comes in handy. You want it to come out looking really solid for you. I'm sorry, I'm not getting that in the camera. So you're trimming that, you're trimming down all those little pieces of hair, so everything's nice and uniform. If this video is long, I'm sorry, I don't want it to be real long, but we'll make it as long as it needs to be, so I might have to make it a 2-parter so it downloads correctly. And I want to download it in HD so you guys can see what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and see what I did there. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to start wrapping around. and don't be afraid to go down the hook shank and then back up, down the hook shank, and then back up. And you're just gonna wrap it a bunch of times. Throw in a couple of overhand knots from time to time just to make sure that everything is seating well on there and you're not gonna unravel it. And just keep raveling, trying to get all that white off of that thread. This is the part that really will make this look good if you're doing it right. I have to take my see, I'm starting to get my thread's starting to get tangled up, so this is an easy fix. All you got to do is on here, just make sure you're hooked up still, and then just drop it and let it unravel for you. Okay. So just throw another overhand down there. Okay. So just keep wrapping. I'm trying to get rid of that little piece of white right there, but I want it to come out evenly, so just taking my time, wrapping. This is where having that bobbin really helps. For all you fly tires out there, if you just have that bobbin on there, that'll really expedite the process of doing this, because you don't have to hold on to so much with your hand. But like I said, those bobbins can get pretty expensive, and if you're just doing this just to get a treble hook that looks good for you, then it's really not worth it. So just put this thing back on there like that. And what we'll do, let me focus in on that. Just take your, because this is the last time we're going to do this, so just go ahead and you're essentially going to start painting. Just start painting it all on there. So there's that. I think it looks pretty good. And the nail polish dries fairly quickly too, so and I'll take and now after you tie that overhand, just make sure that you can see where my overhand knot is on here. Oops, let me see if I can get that to focus. There we go. So you can see where my overhand is, but you can see that it's covered in this nail polish, which is acting like glue. So all you got to do is just wait for it to dry, just for like 30 seconds or so. Just blow on it, and then what you'll do is you'll take your razor blade and then just cut it real close to it, and then just push it down on there. And now you can take your bucktail and start evening it out over the hooks, making sure that everything's all spread out very evenly on here, so it looks really, really good. And what you'll do, I always do this. You don't have to do this extra step, but I like for it to look really even, because I like to trim it. So we'll make this look really even, just like that. And then you just take your chug bug. Let me push all this junk out of the way. Take your hook. And there you go. Pretty easy. Mine came out a little thicker than I like it to, but you can still see. I mean, it looks really solid. And tying feathers is even easier because you don't have to worry about all the bucktail that you're doing. I'll have to apologize for my neighbor that decides that he wants to rev up his engine, and because we're all really impressed with what he has under the hood of his car. Yeah, right. So yeah, tying bucktail, tying feathers, it's all pretty much the same exact thing. Tying bucktail is a little bit more involved because you got to hold on to all that bucktail, but this is really easy, and it makes your baits look really, really good. And you don't have to pay a lot of money for it, and you can put premium hooks on it. And like I said, I mean, I've had this one bucktail here, and it's probably tied at least 50 hooks or so. It goes a long way. And you'll have a lot of trial and error when you first start, but that's okay. You just take your razor blade and you just carve the thread right off, because it's all hard and it's not going to unravel on you. And that Flashaboo looks really, really good in the water. It draws a lot of attention. Yeah, we're all impressed with your engine, man. Sounds really good. Really good. Anyway, good morning, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.